Okay, it's getting further away. Let's go.
Are you kidding me?
That really scared me.
Hello everyone, welcome to the very first episode of RebelMoon Theory in 2025. I hope everyone had a wonderful time during Christmas break, as so I am very happy to be back here on RebelMoon Theory. In this episode of RebelMoon Theory, we are actually going to be taking a look at the Zombie Viurs from Army of the Dead. Now for those that may not know, Army of the Dead and Twilight of the Gods are actually connected to RebelMoon, and that the Zombie Viurs from Army of the Dead is actually a piece of RebelMoon lore. So in this video, I'm actually going to share you guys my theories as to where the Zombie Viurs may have come from. So without further ado, let's dive in to see where the Zombie Viurs from Army of the Dead may have come from. The first clip I'm going to share with you guys is actually a scene from Army of the Dead, which is set during the beginning of the film, where the military is driving out with the container that contains a zombie inside of it. So I'm actually going to play this clip, and I want you guys to watch this. If you look very closely to the right, you guys can see there's actually two balls of light in the sky. And a little later on in this clip, you guys can see the two balls of light fly into the sky. So it is possible that the balls of light shown in the clips could actually be UFOs operated by extraterrestrial life. I have seen theories where that the aliens that were operating the UFOs could actually be using the Zombie Viurs as a weapon. But the question remains, where did these aliens come from? Which alien species are they? The first creature we are going to take a look at is the alien parasite that can be seen in RebelMoon Part 1. The alien parasite has one pointy eye along with two fangs at the front of its head. The alien parasite also contains these two tentacles that can actually attach to somebody in order to communicate whether if it's a human or another alien species. The clip I'm about to show you guys is actually seen in RebelMoon Part 1, where Cora and Gunnar are at this bar, and when Cora asks everyone if they know where General Tyus' location is at, the alien parasite communicates with Cora by attaching its tentacles to one of the humans in order to communicate with Cora.
Of course! General Titus. Crazy bastard turned his own men on the Mother World's forces at the Battle of Sarawoo.
Do you know of his location?
Last I heard, he was fighting in the Colosseum at Pollux. I'd be careful if I were you, little miss. Last hunter who went looking for him ended up with his head on a pike outside the Colosseum entrance, as a warning not to bother him.
As we take a look at the human while it's being controlled by the alien parasite, you guys can see that the reactions and the movements that the human is giving out are very similar to the zombies' movements from Army of the Dead, which is one of the reasons that I believe that the Zombie Viurs could have came from the alien parasite from RebelMoon. One of the other alien species that could possibly be connected to Army of the Dead is the Xanadite that appeared in RebelMoon Part 1. In the shot, you guys can see that the Xanadite does have these bright yellow eyes that are very similar to the zombies from Army of the Dead. Since we are talking about the Xanadite, there is something that I do think needs to be talked about too, is from what I've heard, is the Xanadite was supposed to appear in Army of the Dead Las Vegas, which is an animated series from the Army of the Dead universe. So whether or not if the Xanadite is connected to Army of the Dead or not, I still think it's very important to take a look at some of the other alien species in Rebel Moon, or anything that might have a connection with the Zombie Viurs from Army of the Dead. Another character that could actually relate to the Zombie Viurs is actually Admiral Atticus Noble. Even though Admiral Atticus Noble is human, he does contain these cybernetic parts in him, along with being healed and medically treated inside the medical room in the King's Gaze. Even though this might seem very unlikely, Admiral Atticus Noble does share some activity inside the medical room, which I think is very similar to the zombies from Army of the Dead. Now I'm going to talk about what the zombie virus can actually affect, because not only the zombie virus can actually affect humans, it can also affect animals as well. For example, in Army of the Dead, we get to see a zombie tiger along with the zombie king riding a zombie horse. And what I also find very interesting is that the zombies, which also include the zombie king and the zombie queen, also share this emotion just like humans would. So right there are my theories on the zombie virus from Army of the Dead. The zombie virus, in my opinion, I think is something very interesting to dive deep into. But what did you guys think of today's video? And also, let me know down in the comments below of any theories that you guys might have about the zombie virus as well. That is it for today's video. Y'all stay safe out there. Have a good one.